Hello all, today we'll discuss about some medical topics and I just wanted to compare what's been happening in India from 1947 till 2014 and what all have we achieved from 2014 onwards. I think that is one of the very big questions every time everyone has got top of their mind, like to say like, yeah, we continue to hear a lot of things about this has happened, that has happened, but what exactly has happened as in numbers wise? So let's discuss some medical bits because of I'm very close to all these medical bits. And in this discussion today, I want to bring up about the medical colleges, medical education, and then go on to see what all has happened with our medical council, the previous one, which is now changed to the NMC, and then what's all happening with our medical as in treatment, the medical tourism, the drugs, as in bulk drugs, generic drugs, the APIs, which are the active ingredients, and there is a big development there, the vaccines, and so on. So let's start with the Medical Council of India for a start. That was a very big change and a bill that was brought in August of 2019. The Medical Council of India was established even pre-independence, and that was the organization or the umbrella body that would control the medical profession. So honestly, I mean, I don't want to say a lot, but it was not doing its job very well. And there was too much corruption as it was controlling all the medical colleges, permissions. Every 5 years, they would have to go reevaluate, and there was too much happening there. So there is some control in the NMC at the moment. I would not, even NMC would not qualify to be the best of the organization. But because of that, now there is this NEET exam, which is a qualifying exam for all of India. Previously, it was fractured, like each state had its own. The junior, as in a student who has just passed his plus two, had to sit for about 10 different exams. AIMS had its own exam, PGA had its own exam, Andhra had its own exam, Punjab had its own exam. So now that's at least combined together into a exam called NEET, and then there is an exit exam as well for all the medical doctors, but that is compulsory for the foreign graduates who have graduated in a country not in India. So if they want to practice in India, they have to definitely get through that exam, so that there is at least a blanket where we test their skills, the medicine or whatever it is, and then allow them to practice in India. Apart from that, there are a few changes that are still happening, and more has to happen in the next few years from the NMC side. And from if you move from there on to the medical colleges, the PG seats, the medical seats, if I have to say, like there were about 630 360 medical colleges, if I am not wrong, in 2014. So we had 200 from 1947 till about 2014 in India. We had about established 360 teaching medical colleges, which would cater to the MBBS. And now the number stands at around 980 or 1,000. So from 300, it's come up to some 680, 700. So there is a 100% jump in the medical colleges. And as in the medical seats, there is a 100% jump as in the MBBS seats. So they were previously about 51,348. Now they have jumped to about 99,766 as in medical seats. And then the PG seats in 2014 were about 31,185 as in all India, and have now jumped to 64,559. And previously the number exactly medical colleges 387 have jumped to 654. So this is all being done under a scheme called one medical college for one district, and that's a central government scheme. So it doesn't matter which state you are on, and if the state opts, it's got to contribute a bit, and then the central government contributes a big chunk, and then they are ready to sort of give a recognition and then start fund the medical college, one in each district all over India. So this is what we have achieved in the last 14 years. So more medical seats, more PG seats, more medical college, and it is a lot in progress. So maybe in the next 3-4 years, more medical colleges will be established. As in AIMS as well, if I'm not wrong, there was only one AIMS, as in the real AIMS in Delhi, and then up to 2014 there were 4 more, as in they were called AIMS in different parts. Now 29 in all are functioning all over. From 2014, we have established more, and the number now is 29, and 4 or 5 more are going to be sort of functional very, very soon. Construction done, and they are going to be starting to take in medical input in the next year or so. So that's about all the medical colleges. And let's come to a bit of a medical tourism. As in 2014, from what all the government statistics, and all the medical tourism honestly happens in the private, as in a private hospitals. Nothing much happens in the government hospitals. So previously, there used to be about 1.5 lakh patients who used to visit India on a medical visa from abroad, and then we used to, as in a revenue, generate about $2 billion. But now, as in 2023, it has jumped to about 20 billion in revenue, and at least about 20 lakh patients from at least about 78 countries from all over, mainly from the African and the Southeast Asian. So there is a huge jump, and it is projected to go up to at least by another 50% as in revenue and in patient numbers as well. And usually the patients from all over the world come in mainly for these elective big surgeries, as in the cardiothoracic bypass or the IVF and other things. So that's the huge jump. And then let's go to what happened in COVID, what happened post-COVID, and mainly we have to discuss about the pharmaceutical industry, the pricing of the medicines here, and what all happened to the big drug industry, because there was a huge bottleneck that is now being cleared. So India and vaccines as well. So let's first finish with the vaccines. India was a vaccine hub, as in Poonawalla Serum Institute was catering to a huge lot of the vaccines from all over the world. And as on today, India contributes to more than 50% of all the vaccines all over the world. That is where we are. 50% of the vaccines for the whole world is supplied by India, and a major contribution is from the Serum Institute. And then, as you know, the COVID vaccines, if India was not there, and then if the cost was not driven low by the Indian vaccine industry, we all can now understand what would have been the situation of the low socioeconomic countries. And then we continue to grow even bigger in the vaccine industry. And then let us come to the bulk drug, as in the pharmaceutical industry. As I was saying previously, we did not understand until 2014 or until 2015 or 16, when we realized that we were a big bulk drug, as in API, it is called active pharmaceutical ingredients. We used to be big in the API as well, about 20 years or 2 decades ago, when China took over because of its low costing. And API is the basic bulk drug that is required to manufacture any finished product. So the government understood that we used to import 80% of all the APIs, import from various countries. Majority, again, out of the 80% of the 80 was from China. So we realized that this is not the way forward, and then the product linked incentive scheme was launched for the big guys who wanted to establish industries making the APIs. So now, out of the 56 APIs that cater to most of the final product drugs, I think we are almost there at about 35 to 40, which are being manufactured big time in India as of 2023. And we have also started to export. And then, not to dream big, we have still only come down by about 20-30% of what we used to import previously from China. We have still got a long way to go. So that's about the drug. And then, as you know, previously, even before we had this API thing, we were the generic manufacturing powerhouse for the whole world, and we still continue to be the bulk drug, generic drug manufacturing powerhouse for the whole world. And we still export a lot to many of the African countries. And we are a leader in the HIV or the antiretroviral drugs to the whole of the world. As I said, the top in the vaccine as well. And apart from this, we also have to mention how we dealt with all the COVID and how we came up to the challenge of providing oxygen, providing the PPEs, the masks, the beds and the availability and everything. And So these are all the sort of the numbers and then where we are. So still the government is looking at a lot of incentives to make the medical field, as in the drugs and everything, even better. Yeah, thank you.